doors open, kids find a safe space. Death Three Gaming Doc fights the grind each day. From the joystick low to the streets ballet. She's the voice that echoes the restless hum. Hardcore hero where the city drums. She drove out of Cali where the sun went red. Found a home where chaos and dreams are bred. The city roars but her wheels still roll. Streaming at night with a fierce heart soul. Death Three Gaming Doc fights the grind each day. From the joystick low to the streets ballet. She's the voice that echoes the restless hum. Hardcore hero where the city drums. They laugh, they cheer when her streams go live. Green glow shining, she makes them thrive. Kids in the morning don't see her night. She hides battles fought by screens, strange light. Driving their futures down bustling streets, filling small lives with the simple beats. She carries their dreams while chasing her own. Walking roads never leave her alone. She drove out of Cali where the sun went red. Found a home where chaos and dreams are bred. The city roars but her wheels still roll. Streaming at night with her fierce heart soul. They laugh, they cheer when her streams go live. Green glow shining, she makes them thrive. Kids in the morning don't see her night. She hides battles fought by screens, strange light. Driving their futures down bustling streets, filling small lives with the simple beats. She carries their dreams while chasing her own. Winding roads never leave her alone.
Well, greetings, gamers. This is Dr. Eileen, bus driver Eileen, aka the Gaming Doc. And this is your place and your space to laugh, to chat, to chill, to hang out, to take a moment, to take a break, to take a breath, and say we've got a sub, a resub from our favorite, absolutely favorite Mother Truckin' Mother Madam Sarcasm. So we come straight out of the gate with Love Train, and it's your bedtime. Oh, somebody's gonna be doing some night driving, but that's okay. Transporting all the things that we need. Yes, thank you so much for that, my dear. Mash fan Englishing. Okay, that is adorable. Oh my God, where did those come from? That is so cute. Are those like black cats doing the boogie? That is so cool. Yep, I'm on night shift. Oh my goodness. Oh, I mean, once you get your clock reset to it, it's okay. But oh my gosh, yes. One of the streamers I follow, it's a robot. That is so cool. Mr. Harmless 411. Hello, hello, hello. That is very cool. I mean, at some point, yes, we will be looking into emote situations, but it's like, oh my gosh, when people start like coming in and saying, oh, emotes will increase your viewer interaction by 50%, and I said, really, what do you base that on? And as soon as you ask for people to actually validate some of the things they say, It's like, "Oh, it'll do this, it'll do that." Cool, show me. What? Well, show me your data, show me your stats, show me what it is that you are basing that statement on because, if it does, great. I am very much a show me kind of gal. I should be from Missouri because here in the States, Missouri is called the show me state. I am a very show me kind of person. So if you're going to come in and tell me that I need to drop major money because I mean those things are not cheap, and you're telling me it will increase my, the interaction, it'll increase this by a specific percentage, yeah, what are you basing that on? And I know, I mean, they're fun to use, but they're not the reason why I follow streamers. Exactly. I mean, they're fun. I will be very, I think that they're very fun. Give me beans. Where are they? Where are they? We know the two main symbols of our dear Kimmy Beans with the southbound end of a northbound unicorn, and it's raining beans. Hallelujah. Ah, there they are. Hello, sweetheart. How are we doing today? And, for those of you who haven't been around, that, Kimmy Beans just went through a pretty major surgical procedure and was absolutely so hurt so bad. Oh, my sweetheart. Yeah. I mean, letting the doctors know when pain levels get that high. I mean, sweetheart, I know you are a champion at plogging through and bearing pain, and please, please, please consider that if you're having that much pain, you need to let the doctors know that that much pain is a part of your recuperation. They need to, I mean, even if they say, okay, we hear you, and yeah, it does, the pain levels, there's stuff they can, I am taking pain stuff, yeah, and there may be some modifications to it, there may be a little bit more dialing in that needs to happen, but if it's just waking up like this, yeah. And the thing is that the body is going to go through, when you've had a major surgery, yes, the nerves and the nervous system are going to run amok. They're going to go, wait a minute, all kinds of stuff has been happening. We're going to let everybody know that all is not well in the kingdom. And increased pain can also be a sign that maybe something needs to be looked at as a part of the healing process. And it may just be everything is healing normally, but by bringing in the doctors and letting them know, having it documented, because that's also one of the big things, is that for them to be able to document saying, okay, patient reported this at this point, and then that becomes a part of their, the things that they utilize to be able to figure out how things are progressing, and letting them know that, if you're in that kind of big pain, and having the doctors be on board with it. And it's also documentation that if they say, oh, it's fine, and then later on, there may be something that needed some attention, it's documented that you reported it. Because, if they say it's like, well, I mean, when I used to treat patients, and we do a treatment, and if I asked, at the next appointment, and I'd tell them, I said, if you experience any significant change, call me, contact me, let me know. I can document it in your file, and we can figure out what might be going on. And then they come in a week later, oh, the last week was absolutely miserable. Why didn't you call me? Well, I figured I didn't need to. I said, no, I specifically said, if you're having a lot of pain, call me, let me know. I need to document this, because everything that's documented is a part of, what people are looking at and going, it's like, okay, how is the recovery going? So, please, please, please think about, just, I mean, you're amazing. You can do what you need to do, and you can make that absolute judgment. just consider having your doctors on board for this and documenting in your file that what you're experiencing, because that can be important later. If it's what they always told us, if it's not written, it never happened. And if you go back and it's, oh well, I had a lot of pain, and it's like, well, it can't have been that much because you didn't contact us. So it protects the doctors, and it also protects the patient. Let's see. Oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. We have part of my NF fam coming in. Aaron the healer, who always heals our hearts. Aaron, how are you? Who was last seen playing Grand Theft Auto? Y'all, if y'all don't know Aaron the healer, hold on. Where is it? We are going to do a thing. Yes! I mean, it's like, why is it saying that? Okay, there's a specific window. Why is it that my display is doing the weirdness? Hold on. Let's see. Ah, there we go. Okay. Oh, that's clipped of someone else. Is that you?
Wait, what the fuck?
Hold on, what is it? We need to get one of Aaron's clips. Hold on. We are doing a thing. Let's do this one.
Come on.
I got a regular gun now.
Aaron is absolutely delightful. And how are you, my dear?
What? The fucking fuck was that shit?
Hit him with a thing. It is always so fun to just have our wonderful fam, my lovely NF family fam. Let's see. Absolutely, don't try to tough it out because certain pain levels tell the doc if there's something going wrong. Exactly. Because if something is going a little bit off track, pain is the first way we find out. It doesn't feel wrong. It just feels intense as my body knits together. Yep, it's a burning sensation they know about. Okay. Oh, lol. OMG. Not so good, doc. What is going on, my love? What force in the universe has dared to take in even a remote split second of your joy? Because I will go full rabid hobbit. I am very, very fierce. I may be short, but I drive a school bus. I get very fierce. What is going on? Sweetie, no. Oh, sweetheart. I am so sorry. And you've got this surrounding you with all the possible love, and you've got this. You're an amazing person, and to turn all that wonderful healing that you radiate out to others, this is the time for you to claim that healing for yourself. You do so much, and you've always done so much for other people. This is the time to turn all that amazing healing energy and light that you have inside of you straight to the source. And I am so sorry. Going for surgery on the 10th. Much love. Hold on. I'm making a note to myself. See, I'm old. I have to write down everything. Okay. August. I'm going on that it's August 10th. Aaron's surgery. Alrighty, I've got my note. I'm gonna put it right here so that I can light a candle for you. And, you know, just putting out there for the entire cosmos to put that amazing healing power into the hands of those who are taking care of you. I get it though. Way too many doctors will accuse you of drug seeking if you say your pain level is too high. Yeah, I mean, that is a thing, and they still have to document the request. And, and also when you have somebody, there's a certain profile that they would utilize. And when you had, like, I think, what was it, 6 to 8 hours of surgery, and the nature of the surgery that you had, I don't think that they would be looking at as like, oh, this person is just looking for drugs. They know how intense a surgery you had. They know how involved it was. So I think that, they would be pretty good. Okay, but Madam Sarcasm, that does happen. And the weird thing is that it's oddly enough that women have a tendency to withhold, talking about pain. And so when they report pain, it tends to actually be downplayed a little bit, which is very weird to me. Coming in from Olympus, we've got Blade Zeus. Hello, hello, hello. What is up? What is happening, my friend? And, it is, well, and Aaron, I hope that, you will, not only will you get through it and you will recuperate, and you will get right back and, entertaining folks through streaming. And I hope that everything goes well for that. I mean, my heart to yours, my sister. I you know I just want the absolute universe, for you with my whole chest. And we're going to be putting some major, major, major good vibes into you and into, this journey that you're going on. And I mean, there's a lot of people who, you know, make it through this and, end up having full, wonderful lives afterwards that are changed, because anything significant like this is going to create a change. Anytime we go through something major, even if it's something we like, even if it's something cool, any major change creates stress. And being able to put that into, that perspective of, okay, first off, I can do this. Second off, I'm not alone. Third off, there's something for me to learn in this. There's a way that I'm going to be stronger at the end of this. On the other side of all of this going on, and, and Kimmy and all of that, it's the idea is that when we go through stuff like that, we do get a gift, because we realize how strong we are. We realize how tenacious we are. We realize how vulnerable we are. And at the same time, that vulnerability is not weakness. It doesn't have to be weakness. Streaking for 3 great streams. Oh, Blade Zeus. Ah! You are an absolute delight, who is getting into some seriously regular streaming, which is so nice. The artwork and everything. So, yay. I mean, summertime is a great time to go ahead and enjoy streaming, because then it keeps you out of either the heat or the rain. If you are anywhere on the East Coast or anywhere in New York, you know, it's a coin toss at any given moment how bad the rain is going to be, how bad the flooding is going to be. We've got like a storm coming in tonight, major winds, all kinds of stuff. I'm seeing a pain management specialist who's already done injections and now trying to get me into an MRI. Okay, that's a good source of information. That is an amazing source of information. And I'm so sorry that pain management is necessary. And the processes and techniques and medications and procedures that are a part of pain management now are so much more than they used to. I mean, even 10 years ago, there's been a lot of advancement in that area. And yeah, it absolutely sucks that you have to count on that, those big advances right now. And we've got you. You have so many people who love you so much, who you have brought so much joy to, who you have been so healing towards. And all of that is going to come back to you in absolute spades. Coming back to streaming as a reward for this. Yes, you're going to teach art classes on Twitch. Nice. Oh, that's going to be so cool. And you can teach how you do that thing that you do with colors, where you kind of I mean, and even colors that you would not even think would blend well, and you find a way, it's like with the shading and the effects, to be able to get that. And I mean, I don't know how you do what you do with colors, but that will be an awesome thing to teach. But, it's going to take time. Hey, you've got it. And the cool thing is that, the time that you're having to be very quiet, that is a great time to do the planning and really figure out and think of what your schedule's going to be, and uh how many days a week do you want to do it, and what type of setup do you need? Is there anything else you need for the setup? I think that is going to be awesome. Setting up getting your Discord going again. I go see the new knee doctor tomorrow to figure out what we're doing about my messed up replaced knee. Yes. And, again, if only Doc knew who else has been streaming lately. Actually, I got a ping saying that you have been, okay, y'all, first off, welcome in my moderator, Supreme J Stun Z, the king of New York, the reigning monarch of Staten Island, and I will hear no argument to the opposite, who is my OBJ Stun Zobi, Englishing in all things, including when the computer's not talking to me, and how to open a jar. We went through that yesterday. I will be posting that as a short and as a TikTok, because I mean, it didn't even occur to me to hit the bottom of the jar. That was brilliant. So we have been streaming. Oh, by the way, Doc, Jay has been streaming. Doc, my manager has tiny DH and he keeps trying to give me a hard time. What is your advice for the situation? Has tiny, I don't know, did? Oh, and is trying. Well, he's the OBGYN. That's wild. By the way, your wish came true. Yay! You're going to let me eat the canned haggis in the house? I mean, it is whenever situations come up where it is especially work situations where somebody is not being as civil. Kitty, yes! Listed her stuff on her merch store to buy. I need, okay, Jay, post if there's a link for it, please post that, and we're putting that in Discord. I ate it I ate like the whole rest of the first jar last night, and I've got another jar that I can bust into. But yes, Kitty needs to. That is the most amazing pickled stuff. If you like pickled stuff, yes. So, Venomous, welcome in. And and dealing with management. First off, figuring out, okay, is there anything, if they're criticizing your work, is there any point of validity in it? And that's an important thing to do, because that sets up the process for everything else. If you figure it's like, okay, what they're saying has like maybe, 60% validity, or if what they're saying has like 0.5% validity, or if there's, other things going on, there is, figuring out what is your process. If it's a doctor, then, they have definite vulnerabilities regarding complaints. And the thing is that figure out first off what's really going on. What's actually going on. Second, if the doctor has a complaint about you, you can request that they put it in writing. Because what that does is it creates the paper trail. And find out what is the chain of command. What is it that you would normally do if you have an issue? If the doctor is a part of, say, a larger organization, then, there are things you can go through that way. If it's like, the sole proprietor, it's their practice and they're just being a butthole, then, there's still things, there's still agencies that person, because they have a license given to them. And, the Department of Labor, you have rights. And if it's something that's that egregious, it's like, you know what? I do understand what my rights are. So the first thing that I would recommend for you is make sure you know what your rights are. And, figure out, okay, is what they're saying valid? Is there any part of it that's valid? Or does it appear that they're just simply being a jerk? And I would also start looking at other opportunities. Because, if it turns out that it's just this is somebody who just wants to be toxic, then maybe you've learned everything you need to learn from them and you can go into another situation. I try to be helpful to everyone, but at this point, I feel as if they're trying to chain me up. They need to provide a clear set of requirements. That is absolutely 100%, you know, you need. You need to have the, a clear, your job description should be on paper. And if for some reason, yeah, and scroll, oh, nah, he's not a doctor, he's just a mouth breather. I told him to get everything sorted out with upper management, then just outline the marching orders. I have the right to remain silent. Yes. And the thing is that most people don't realize how important it is. Hold on. To sometimes the best thing you can do is not say anything. All right, we are going to go to, oh my gosh, come on. Here we go. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, uh, this amazing individual, Kitty. Oh, Venomous! Thank you so much. That is so sweet of you. This is someone who is like, one of our new buddies. Her name is Kitty, and it looks like she has a pretty amazing, I mean, I need to get a shop like this. And yes, the peppers, organic mango ghost pepper. Ooh, organic apple pie jam, pickled jalapenos, ranch. Yay. Blueberry jam pie, pickled garlic. Okay, so this is the one. This is the one that I had. And I will tell you, this stuff is amazing. It's a hot and spicy mix. And it is absolutely yummy. And for, what is it, $8? Okay, for $8, this is, hold on, let me move me over. For $8, this is an amazing, this tastes so good. I tried it on stream and I just kept eating it. So I am definitely, and it has like that fresh taste to it. I'm not sponsored, but I just really like it. I am going to have to put together a page like this because that is very cool. But yeah, it is so neat when people have, the things that in addition to what they're doing. I have got to get back into that. I've got to get my merch store set back up again. I told them to get everything sorted out. Yep, and upper management, you have the right to remain silent. And make sure your contact doesn't include the phrase "and other duties as needed" or contract. Yeah, see, and that's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up, because they'll put it's like, and then they'll add in like, this boilerplate. Oh, and other duties as needed. It's like, no, define the duties within the parameters. And, additional filing if those other duties mean additional filing. But if it just says other duties, as needed, that is like, oh, I'll wash my car. But yeah, she told me she thinks she has 9 jars of the hot and spicy left before she has to make more. That is so good. Yep, this is very good to note. I have always been kind of an all-terrain resource, and I try to help with anything, even if it's not my actual work, which is probably why I'm in this situation. Well, and the thing, Venomous, my dear Venomous, it's, you are such a sweetheart, and the fact that, and believe me, I'm very similar. That if it's like, hey, can I help? Hey, you see a need, you think of the office, you think of the bigger picture, being supportive. So it's like, yeah, I can stay a little bit extra and not get paid for it. So it's about finding that balance between that wonderful, kind, giving spirit that you have and letting the left brain in, going, okay, let's put this in a box. Let's define this, because, good fences make good neighbors. And when everybody is clear on what the expectation is, then it's like, oh, okay. And yeah, being that, the phrase I used to use is called helium hand, because it's like, oh, we've got a problem. Hand up. Oh, it would really help if somebody could stay. Hand up. Oh, wow, I could really use some support in this. Hand up. So that's helium hand, where the hand just automatically heads for the ceiling. And having that made as like a very specific type of thing, it's like, okay, what is it that you need from me to do? If there is something, some unusual situation, had them, yes, where suddenly you're doing something and one of the toilets overflows and everybody needs to, it's like, oh, can you grab some paper towels or whatever? And, and it's something like that. It's, or there's a blackout and there needs to be some extra help with files, or maybe, somebody sustained an injury and they're going to be out for a bit. And so, a little bit of extra help is needed, maybe to help with covering their work. You need to divide that up, which is absolutely fine. The trick is to not forget that those situations should be the exception, they should not be the rule. And if this particular person has expectations that do not align with what it is that you believe your job to be, it is a tricky path to walk. But the thing is, after this whole situation goes through, you're actually going to be in a better position. You're going to have clarity. Clarity is an amazing thing. My friend and my other friend had a fight and aren't talking anymore. I got two different stories, but rough the same. It's a he and she said type of thing. Yep, I love both of them. I hang out with the girl more than the guy, mainly because she makes me feel good about myself and stuff. And he seems jealous of mine and other people's relationships with other people. Yeah, people have their thing. And, if you have two friends who are going through something, I have discovered that it's best to let them deal with it. When one person wants to come, it's like, okay, if you need to vent, fine. I will bear witness to that. I don't, I'm not a part of this situation, so I cannot offer an opinion. I cannot offer, because a lot of times they want you to agree with them, and understanding that each person is giving their perspective of what the situation is, and they also want support, so they may augment a few of the facts. So for me, usually the trick is to let them know, and I let both know. It's like, look, you both are very special to me. And I understand that when people need time to work something out themselves, yeah, let me know when it works out. But just know that, I care about both of you. And we will make an agreement that I will not hear bad mouthing about either one of you. I will, I'm going to stay impartial in this because I know you two can figure this out. Whether it's that they decide, okay, maybe their time as friends is done. That doesn't have to bring you into it. It's not a you situation. If they want to vent and it's a clear thing, it's like if you want to vent, fine, but I'm not going to offer an opinion. I'm not going to say, oh, well, they're wrong because I haven't heard all of what they have to say. And if they want to get in a situation where the two of them are sitting there together, they can hear what each other is saying. And, you're holding space for both of them, maybe while they talk it out themselves. Often it has more to do with somebody's feelings being hurt than somebody actually doing something wrong. It's not, it basically the message transmitted is not the message received. And the tricky part is, and I've had this happen to me, that when you have two people who are, like this, and you offer opinions to either one, or, you start leaning into it, when their argument is done, they turn on you. Suddenly it's like, well, we would have resolved this. And I literally had somebody say this, back in my earlier days when I really thought I had a different definition on what it meant to help. Now my definition is I let people settle their own stuff. It's none of my business. But back when I would try to help, and I would offer sympathy and compassion, and they interpreted that as me bad mouthing the other person. So when they resolved their issue, neither one wanted to talk to me because well, you sided, you were talking bad. And it's like, well, I was kind of sort of agreeing, but it is amazing how, it's like people will suddenly, they resolve their issue, but then they look for somebody else who they can say is like, well, they did something in this relationship. So that's the one caveat warning that I will give, is that be careful, because even the person who you feel closest to could end up turning it. And then when they tell the other person, well, they were saying this about you, when they get to be friends again, and then all of a sudden you're the one in the hot seat. I went to a customer site to help them with issues they had, which was not my problem. Yeah, toxic people pleasing. Yeah, the clarity is the main thing. Well, and the best part about clarity is it gives us choice. We have choice when we have, when we have the opportunity to go, oh, okay, I'm basing my decision not on what I believe, but what I know about this situation. And it can be a slippery slope to try to manage. And it is, and also, the thing about clarity, and with you, venomous, clarity about what your actual job description is. Anytime, if you're working for somebody, I have a very specific list of things that I am responsible for as a bus driver, which is, to me, is very, very cool. I like that. I like them saying, it's like, okay, your job description contains this. Now, I've got an extra job description because I'm also an attendant or matron. And the list of responsibilities when I'm acting as a matron are very different from my list of job duties as a driver, which is also different because I'm also the janitor. So I've got driver, attendant, and janitor. All three of those are jobs I do. And when I'm doing that job, I'm not under the regulations or rules or requirements for either one of the other two positions. When I'm being a janitor, my bus doesn't matter. When I'm being a bus driver, my janitorial work doesn't matter. And so the idea of having clear things about, okay, this is what my job is. Because the thing is, you're not the only one who suddenly knows that. You also have, the managers and all of that stuff. So if a manager comes up and says, well, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, it's like, well, all due respect, I was following my job description, which you should have memorized. You should know everything that's on your job description. And it's not that you don't go outside of it, because like I said, there are emergencies. And I mean, back when, well, okay, like even for, the work I do now, there are times we had a full on toilet backup that left like 4 inches of water in one of the bathrooms, and it was a very unusual situation. I was, I do a certain number of hours each day for janitorial, because that's my total hours that I do. There's a very specific amount of hours that I do. I had to do additional time because there was something extra I had to clean up. Normally, I stick to my hours. I'm given 3 hours a day, 15 hours a week for cleaning. And yes, there are times when if something explosive happens, I'm going to go outside of that, but that's the exception, that's not the rule. So being able to, like I said, if you have a situation where, somebody is sick, or somebody has like a major thing, maybe they've got a family member who's sick, they can't be in. It's like, okay, we need to divide up this person's work. Of course, that's a wonderful opportunity to help. And yes, offering help is a great way to stand out and show that to the right management, they look, oh, wow, that person is willing to go the extra mile. Unfortunately, there's management that goes, oh, that person's willing to go the extra mile. Let me make use of that, and I will never let them be promoted. I had that situation too. I worked retail, and I became way too important and made my manager's job way too easy. And she actually, I wanted to go in for management training. She actually went to management and told them that I did not want management training when I actually did. And I didn't find out she had done that until I was actually quitting the job, and the store director, he was, I mean, he shook my hand, and he said, "Oh, well, I really wish we could have gotten you as a manager." I said, "Well, then maybe you should have put me up for management training." And he looked at me and he said, "But we were told that you specifically did not want, that you liked being at the level you were." And I said, "Who told you that?" And when they told me it was my manager, it was like, because if I had gotten into management training, and I mean anything she asked me to do, I did. I anticipated anything that could possibly go wrong. I made the place smooth. It ran like clockwork. She never had to work nights because she knew she could leave me to close, and I would get the department closed down, and it would be absolutely amazing. I dealt with buyers, all of that stuff. And you know, I kept thinking, wow, if I do all of this, I'm going to get into management. Unfortunately, by my doing all the stuff that I did, that kept me out of management, because she made sure that I stayed right where I was to continue making her job easy. And it was like she was afraid you'd take her job. Well, either that, or she was afraid. I think she was more afraid that she would actually have to do her job. Sympathy, sorry you were treated that way. Thank you, sweetheart. And it was a very, very, very effective lesson. That was when I first started learning, okay, we can balance, because believe me, I have that I have that, inclination to, just that's how I ended up becoming janitor. All I did was the lady who had been doing the janitorial work before me, she was doing it by herself. And so I just kind of said, it's like, hey, I'm happy to help you out. I can help you carry trash bags out. Well, she, who had wanted to quit being the janitor, immediately went to the general manager and said, oh, Eileen wants to be the janitor. And I'm like, I never actually said that. I just volunteered to help her, but it ended up working out real well because, I make a little bit of extra money each month. So, I mean, actually more than a little bit, but it is kind of cool that, I mean, it's a lot more work, however, so, being somebody who wants to be helpful, that is cool. And it's always good to be able to ask ourselves those questions. It's like, okay, am I doing this because I want to, or am I volunteering because I feel compelled? Am I doing this because just for kicks and giggles and I really wouldn't mind and it's no, skin off my nose? Or do I have invested that I need to do that because I'm afraid people will think I'm not helpful? And looking at what motivates us. Looking at, I mean, when I was dealing with that manager, the thing is, and looking back, the only thing I probably would have changed would be I would have gone to someone other than my manager to tell her. I should have, actually gone to the store director and said, I'd like to enter management training. I just kind of, went with, well, I'll talk to my manager. And she goes, oh, well, you know what? I'll put you up for it. I'll talk to them. And what she was telling me was that, oh, well, they're really, not looking at you right now. And then she put up this other young woman who came in after I did, who she ended up being buddy buddy with, and she promoted her for management training. And so I was like, well, but I kept thinking, it's like, well, my time. And she kept saying, look, your time will come. Your time will come. They just want to see a little more out of you, which was 100% manipulative. But I did learn a lot from that situation. I grew a lot through that. And ultimately, I'm very proud of the work I did. I'm proud of the fact that I actually increased sales in my department, that I talked to the customers and, got their opinions. And then I would document those and I would take them back to the buyers, and the buyers would actually respond to that. So, I mean, it's rough when you realize, because I trusted her, and it hurts a lot when there's someone who you believe that you can trust and it turns out that not so much. And I grew a lot through that. And the skills that I learned served me in a lot of other ways. So I'm glad I did what I did. I just think that there was more that I could have done if that was something that, I was not very assertive, and I counted on her. And when it comes to work, always know, that if you are interested in a position, if you're interested in a promotion, if you're interested in doing something more, if you got an idea to improve something, you talk to the manager, but if there's someone above the manager, make sure they know. You can talk to anybody who you want to talk to. But, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and, opportunity strikes for the one who claims it. So sometimes we do have to be a little bit more assertive. Sometimes, and the idea of being able to say no. If somebody asks you to do something and it's either inconvenient, or you have other plans, or, or you just don't feel like it. It's okay to say, you know what? I'm sorry, I can't help you this time. Yeah, I've got something else going on. And if they, well, what have you got going on? They don't need to know that. Maybe a new game has arrived and you want to get home so you can try out playing that game. It's like, well, you know what? It's a personal matter, but tomorrow I could, I would be able to help tomorrow, but I can't help today. I am so sorry. So being able to, in a workplace and also in relationships, it's very much about being able to have clarity. Clarity opens up so many doors. And it's not that, you can be clear on something and not like it. Clarity doesn't mean you like the information that you have. It means that you are informed, that when you make a choice, it's an informed choice. And yeah, and that's the thing, the more we know, the better our choices can be. The more informed we are about things. If I have something going on and I'm not sure what to do, I start going, okay, what do I know? Not what do I believe, not what am I afraid of, not what somebody else may have told me that's a part of the rumor mill. What do I absolutely know about this situation? What don't I know? What is it that's, what is in that guessing area? What out of this puzzle of what it is that I want to accomplish, the pieces that are there are what I know. Which pieces are missing? Maybe I'm missing information. If it's a job, maybe missing information on, the full job description. You never agree to anything until you have enough information to have clarity. So that means that when you make a choice, and there's always the chance of some little nuanced thing that we don't know. True. And to know as much as we can before we even speak on something. Before we offer an opinion on something, it's like, is this what I know, or is this what I believe, or is this what I'm guessing? And if you're saying something to somebody, am I saying this? What is the purpose of me sharing this? Why am I sharing this? Is it juicy rumor? Is it that this person has asked me for information and this is the information I have to the best of my knowledge? Back, I think. You think? Well, let us know when you're sure. So, and health issues, we've got so many people who are dealing with different types of health issues. Information is key when you're dealing with health. We can guess, nobody knows our body the way we do, and there's something about clinical objective findings. Knowing what's up on an MRI. It's like, oh, okay, so this is showing me this. This is what structurally is going on. I used to ask a lot of questions. If they had prior imaging done, it's like, can I take a look at it? And now that everything is on either discs or you go to a portal and they can pull out information and test results and all of that. Oh my God, it's so much easier than it used to be. I mean, even just taking x-rays. I was back, when I was learning how to take x-rays, which I did really good in taking x-rays. People would actually come and have me help them with it. And sometimes the clinic directors, if they saw me there, they say, look, we've got some x-rays that need to go through. Can you go in and, process them for us? But we had the old processing. Okay, well, because see, now it's all on computer. It is pretty much all on computer. Hold on, let's see. Vintage X-ray processing. Yeah, the old. Oh my God, let me see if I can find something that is like that shows the or okay, X-ray film processing. Because they don't even have the old films anymore. Where you have a machine and you run it through and then it's wet, and then they call it a wet read. Let's see. No, that one isn't it. But they would have like, you know, where and you had the red light on. And it was almost like a little, you know, would be in one thing and then you'd take it out of that, you'd put it in the next thing. I can't find a picture of it. I'll see if I can find one. But, you know, they have you know, and you know, it was hanging, you had to hang it up, it had to dry, and you know, it was definitely different. Now it's all on computer. Now, you know, the stuff we had to figure out when we were, you know, doing it and even taking the x-rays. It's a totally different ball game now. Van, oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Van, it's been a hot minute. Oh my gosh. And you made it before the hour ended. Hello, hello. I hope you're walking gently with the world and the world is walking gently with you. So we're doing Monday through Friday. I do 1 hour during this is my lunch hour. So I do 1 hour and we log on. So we're almost done for that. I had to have a nuclear bone scan for the doctors to finally figure out what I've been telling them since my knee was replaced back in 2020, that my knee never healed right. Come to find out, the components are pulling away from the bone. That happens. Ooh, I had my dead ends trimmed. Hair was below my shoulders halfway through it. I thought, sod it all. Life sucks. I need a change. Had it all cut off for a messy pixie cut. Pixie cuts can be so cute. Love ya. Love ya. Pixie cuts are adorable. Oh my God. Enigma the cat. Oh my goodness, it's been a while. Hello. Voice screeching. Yay, Auntie. Flash from the past. Okay, we're almost done, but we will get in a flash from the past. Okay, Blade Zeus. Childhood, teen years, early adult, older adult, random weird. Which category do you want? You remember me? Of course I remember you. Enigma the cat, a puzzle wrapped in a conundrum, surrounded by a riddle. Enigma. Random weird. Oh, we have so much fun with the random weird photos. What would be a good random weird photo? Okay. Okay, this is not quite a photo. This is a gift from Jay Stun Z. Now, I've gotta give some background to this. Hold on. Let me get it. That one. Okay. I told Jay Stunzy back when we first met that one of my dreams as a child was to be a rockette. And I mean, back in the 60s, not only was I the wrong height, I was the wrong color. Rockettes only came in one shade. But now, you know, there's lots of different ones. So Jay Stunzy put together a video where he took my face. All right, so there's the rocket that is like on the, like when you're facing it on the right side, she's wearing red. So as when it looks, or when it goes, focus on the one in the red on the right side when it gets close. Hold on, Will. Okay, this one right here, he put my face on a rocket. He put my face on a rocket, so technically, technically, I got to be a rocket. Look at that. Okay, there I am. I'm a rocket. Oh, that was fun. I was delighted. Huzzah for realizing a childhood dream. Yes. I got to be a rocket. I shared a blast from my past in selfies to the Discord. And for those of you who I don't know why I have to keep going, and because it used to be automatic. Let's see. Game suggestions. Ooh, Train Station 3 rail games. I love trains. I do love trains. Okay, we've got Show and Tell. Blade Zeus. Oh, you finished it! There is no real normal. Normal is different for everyone. That is absolutely true. And for those who don't know, Blade Zeus is colorblind. So it's very cool to see the colors that come out in it. And Cujo Creates is an amazing artist. Oh my gosh. Strong fish. Yes. Carp. Magic carp. Selfies. Oh. How sweet! Oh my goodness! Okay, you the one on the left or on the right? Baby me. Yes! I sent a message, but my connection made it not send since stream is almost over. DMing it to you. Well, thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that. That is so cute. So anybody who is, just you can click on to the stream through Twitch. Oh, wait a minute. No, we don't have Discord up on the Twitch because that got weird. So, but you can go through, and on my TikTok, there are links and all of that stuff. Not my TikTok. Twitter. I'm getting confused. Anyway, on that note, I will look at that message, my dear. And on that note, it is time for me to go because I have to get ready to head back to the office to do my afternoon cleaning before my after run cleaning. But thank you so much, everybody, for coming in. Thank you for sharing this time with us. We will be back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. And we will be talking about stuff. And everybody who's going through stuff, first off, I'm sorry that you're going through what you're going through. Second, you've got this. Third, this is not bigger than you are. Every single horrible moment of fear where you really didn't think that you'd be able to make it through, when you think about that, every single one of those is a memory, which means you got through it. And it may not have been the solution you wanted or particularly pretty, but you did make it through, which means if you can make it through everything that you have ever faced, which, if you're alive, you've made it through all 100% of it, then there's nothing ahead of you that's bigger than you or more powerful than you. It just feels like it for a little bit until you gain what? Clarity. Always seek clarity. Even if it's a clarity you don't agree with, even if it's something that is hurtful to you, if it's the truth, then it helps you. We don't have to like it. So, everybody, please take care and please remember that you are the only you in all the universe. You're the only you that's ever been and the only you that will ever be. And what that does is it makes you special, it makes you sacred, and most of all, it makes you necessary. Because as the only you in all of the universe wouldn't be the same or complete without you. So, everyone, have an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, or night. May you walk gently with the world. May the world walk gently with you. And as always, I wish you balance and I wish you blessings. From my heart to yours. So, have a good day. Learn something new. I'm proud of you. Hey, Miss Coco Bay, sweetie. And I love you. Alrighty, off we go. Again, we will be back tomorrow. 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Take care. Bye.
Emerald Queen, where the game